Wait, what? Did I log in today? Oh, yes, I did then. Huh.
既定于内，事成于外。
Well, I must have forgotten about that. Must have forgotten about that. Let's get some of this then. And while we get this, I did want to talk about some things. Most likely, realistically, I don't think anyone's gonna see this, or at least anyone who knows who I'm talking about. But I did want to say, did I really log in today? I didn't do this. Well, okay. Whatever. Okay, yes. So, yeah, I didn't want to say. For the most part, I think I'm with Saint Ontus. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. A YouTuber who does Wuthering Waves content. Mostly. I've subscribed to him and I watched most of his content. I will say, some of at least the titles and the intros do come off as he's, let's say, quote-unquote, glazing Kuro. But I think Kuro does deserve some recognition, especially since they were nominated, right? Personally, I think they got their title reward at TGA. Their titles at TGA stolen. It's absolute BS. They lost to Astrobot, but that is just my opinion, right? Kudos to Black Wukong. Anyways, my opinion is that TGA was a sham. It's a scam. And why is that? It's because they are sponsored, at least in part, by Sony. So they glaze up Sony games, they glaze up the PS4, PS5 games. It is what it is, right? I'm already happy enough that Black Myth Wukong got some recognition there, at least, in part. Even though I think they deserve Game of the Year. Okay, so yeah, there was. I forgot which game won there. I think it was Astrobot, but either way, I don't care which game it was. Look, it's not like, oh, because I haven't played Astrobot or Balatro or whatever, I don't. It's because I've never heard of them, right? Elden Ring, I've heard of them, right? If Elden Ring won, I would have been like, okay, fair enough. Looks like that's a good game I'm missing out, since people think that game is better than Black Myth Wukong, right? But it's not the case. So it's a game I've never heard about. So yeah, I think it's a scam. But anyways, I think Kuro does deserve some recognition for giving us 1,000 astrites when they were nominated, and then another 800 astrites, which, if anyone didn't know, 1,600 is 10 pulls, right? So they gave us in total 1,800. That's more than 10 pulls. That's 11 pulls, right? The 800 is exactly 5 pulls. And since it's asteroids, you can spend anywhere, right? You can go for weapons, you can go for standard, you can go for character banners, whichever you want. Damn. Okay, wait. This music's a bit loud. I'm gonna have to turn this down a bit. But yeah, so here, so I do think Kuro deserves some recognition. All right, I think there were some couple points. How, like, first up, I'm playing the, let's say, the devil's advocate, right? So I think Saint Ontus mostly was right about a lot of things, right? And maybe like him really going all out on Vars might have seemed like an attack, right? But it shouldn't seem like it when it's me, right? When I'm doing it, because, right? I've got like 26 subscribers now, like this. I think there's my sister in there, so, like, realistically speaking, probably like 25 subscribers, and so I'm really punching way up. As Gacha Smack said, right? Gacha Smack, someone I watch, I think some of his takes are extremely based, and sometimes he's wrong about things. But it happens; people are wrong about things, right? From his based takes, I think he's a cool dude. Okay, so as Gacha Smack said, right? He doesn't really punch down. he didn't want to punch down towards that one guy who was getting dogged on. I forgot who it was, but he was getting dogpiled on, and he didn't want to, he didn't want to finish him while the guy was on the ground getting stomped on by lots of other different people, right? I can respect that. So I don't want to. For one, Saint Tontas is the one getting dogpiled on sometimes. All right, I will say it is understandable because some of his reactions were kind of heated, right? And for two, I'm small, so I'm so small you might not even be able to call me a content creator, right? So I'm punching way above my league, right? I should be allowed to punch anyone, especially if you're gonna have extremely controversial and quite frankly very bad takes on Wuthering Waves, right? Well, for one, right, what Gacha Smack said about going into the tower with full concerto, no, that's not it. You're supposed to gain your concerto. You get concerto, by the way, if you didn't know, from dodging as well. So it is, if you are skilled enough, I won't say very skilled, right? Dodging is something pretty simple, pretty fundamental to this game. Even people playing on phones can dodge. I have a friend who has a sequence 1 Xiang Liao with his signature, and also Yin Lin at sequence 0 with her signature, and he can max at least one of the towers in Tower Diversity, right? Max Crested on his phone. He plays on his phone, right? So I'm assuming he can dodge when it really counts. All right. So yes, going in there with full control or like full forte, for example, for Changli, I do not think should be the case. I think you're already going in with. I don't remember if you're going in with full energy. I think you are, right? Because I remember I could just use Shorekeeper's Liberation immediately. So yeah, I think this makes for more varied gameplay compared to Genshin, because you go in there with full burst, full liberation, but with empty concerto and empty forte, so you have to build them, right? And some forte you don't have to build it anyways. Like for example, Sanhua, you just have a bigger chance of hitting her thing if you skill or liberation, right? And there are some characters that would not work with, that would actually limit your team building, your first rotation, or limit Kuro's ability to design characters. For example, Camellia. If she goes in with this thing with full concerto, it means she can immediately use this skill, but she has not had a chance to build up her blooms, her blossoms, or whatever it's called. She has like 10 stacks max, right? And after 10 stacks, then you do this. You do good damage, and then your next basic attacks really hit hard, right? That's what you want to do with Camellia. But if you go in full stack, you don't have the opportunity to build all of this. You just have to immediately use this. That's bad. That's bad. It means Kuro will be limited, or we will be limited in using characters that Kuro might design, like Camellia, who can actively use her concerto to buff up her skills instead of swapping for someone else. That's extremely bad. I do not want to see that. And yes, I don't know what guides Vars made, alright? But to give Brax his credits, because I'm telling you all of this, guys. I watched almost the entire stream of Saint Tontas today, alright? Where he got on a call with Brax and Tectone, and then later with Ryuku Sensei and Tectone as well, I believe. I was there almost the entire time, right? It's a Saturday, man. I can watch whatever the hell I want at that time. I just chose to watch it, right? And I will say that in general, maybe I think from anywhere from 70 to 80% of the time, I was basically like Tectone. I was with Saint Tontas. There were some points that I'll have to give to other people for they were right, but most of the time, Saint Tontas was the person who had the right opinion, right? It's like, for sure, you can have your opinion, but when 1 + 1 = 2, that's something, that's a fact. You can have an opinion that 1 + 1 is 3, but your opinion will be wrong, right? So, saying to go in there with full concerto or full forte, no, that's not it. That's not the way to go. You could say you could hope, I don't know, for like a something. I'm thinking in along the lines of this game I used to play, which was pretty simple but also very fun. It was I actually think it reminds me more. This game, Wuthering Waves, reminds me of a open world game of Sword Art Online Memory Defrag. I don't know if anyone played that game. I don't know if anyone who watches me actually played that game. You know, like most of the games I play on this channel is Smite, World of Tanks Blitz, and other gacha games, right? That's not really like a Sword Art Online Memory Defrag, but I really like that game. You could dodge in there, right? You could parry attacks that could be parried, the attacks that were red, and then there were attacks that were purple that you could not parry, so you had to dodge those, right? Just like in this game, you have specific attacks you can parry. Some bosses have a lot of attacks you can parry, others not so much, right? And most of the attacks you'll have to dodge. It's exactly like Memory Defrag, except because it's an open world, you have a bit more options, right? For example, positioning. You can position yourself in a place where you don't have to use stamina to dodge, or in a place where you can attack have an easier time attacking. All right, let's put it that way. Also, like aerial attacks. That was something that was pretty rare in Sword Art Online Memory Defrag. It was only achievable if someone had a burst, right? They used their sword skill 3, and then they would fly up in the air and do their attacks, and it would be very limited in time. You could avoid some attacks that way, which could help you in scores, in game modes that had scores, because you taking damage reduces score. I used to play that game crazy, like it was so funny. Like I used to play that game so hard until like 7-8 a.m. and I didn't even sleep the entire night. And I was playing till so late that, 8 a.m. here in Montreal is 8 p.m. in Beijing. So I was playing till so late that I was starting to play with some Chinese players that got on the game after they finished work or something, or finished school or something, and they would come to play this. That's how hard I play that game, alright? Might have not been the best at it, but I loved it, right? It's like with Wuthering Waves. I'm not the best player at it, right? If anyone wants to know who's the best player that I know of, from my opinion, is Wallenstein, another great YouTuber. I might link all of them, all of the people I'm naming, put their links in my description, even though I don't think, yeah, because I'm really small, right? I don't think people bigger than me will have fans here that watch my content that doesn't watch them, that they will benefit from. But I'll link them anyways. All right. If I forget to, someone shit on me in the comments so that I actually go edit my videos. All right. Sometimes I do forget. All right. But I do read my comments. So yeah. If anyone's watching and they want me to keep my word, just shit on me in the comments. I'll know. Right? So here's the thing. Ryuku Sensei had this thing right, okay? He said the thing about echoes, which is something I've already said, alright? Look at this. That is not alright. I've ran into the cap at least 5 times now. Probably more. Probably like 10 to a dozen times, if I'm being honest. And I'm not throwing all my echo EXP into one echo. You guys know it. I do the plus 10 thing, where I would put 3 gold and 1 purple, or 8 purple and 1 blue or 1 green into 1 echo, and it puts you at basically exactly enough to level 10. You can get to level 10, and I get the first 2 subs. If there's a crit sub in there, then I keep rolling, right? Or if it's really good subs, like really, really high to max subs on like attack percent and maybe energy regen, or something like, like resonance liberation damage bonus, or skill damage bonus, or heavy attack damage bonus on a piece, on a set, for someone that I know they can use, then I might keep rolling. But I'll just probably leave it sitting there. I'll probably go to another piece and I'll keep rolling, right? Like, I have proof. You guys can go look it up. I have had previous videos where I roll pieces, right? I rolled pieces for Mortefi. I would only roll till 2, right? I see there's a crit rate up, then I start rolling to 15. I see his basic attack damage bonus. Okay, it's kind of useless for Mortefi, but it's a good crit piece, right? And objectively, I don't need Mortefi to be doing really a lot of damage, so I'll keep rolling. I was hoping for anything between crit damage, energy regen, and attack percent, right? I got lucky and I got crit damage and energy regen, which are objectively, I think, probably not objectively, but subjectively, I think these are the more important stats for Mortefi. So I got lucky there, right? But usually I roll to plus 10 first, and then I take a look. So yeah, from what I can remember, you either get 3 gold and 4 purple tubes, or you get 4 gold and 4 purple tubes, right? And even that's rare. And you get either 4 or 5 echoes per run, right? I think 5 is rare as well. So on average, you could get 4 echoes and 3 gold and 4 purple tubes. That's only enough, right? 3 gold plus 1 purple is enough to put 1 echo to level 10 for you to check the first 2 subs. It's not even enough for you to check the second. And you don't even have enough to, like, you have 3 purple tubes. I'm not even sure if you have enough to bring something to level 5. You know, actually, let me check. Let me bring any zeros, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, enough to bring it to level 5. Okay, fair enough. Enough to bring it to level 5. But I think level 5 is not enough for you to check to decide if you throw this away at all, right? In my opinion, you have to check to level 10. So, yeah. So here's the thing. Ryuko-sensei is totally right about us not having enough Echo EXP, alright? And I don't give a damn how much these events are giving us. It's still not enough. Look at how many Echoes I have leveled. 15s, 20s, 25s. Where does 25 even start? Here, alright? And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 5 times 14 is 70. I have 70 echoes, which are level 25. And out of these 70, there are a lot that rolled like garbage, right? These were all fillers I was using until I could get a better piece. Lots of these out here, they were fillers. They're not even good. And yes, I could use them as Echo EXP, but I'm losing out EXP because you only get like a 70 or 75% refund. And plus, like, this would put an Echo at like 19 or level 20, I think, which I do not want to do. I don't need that much XP. Realistically speaking, I will only probably use this if I have an Echo that I roll to level 10. I see, okay, it's got max crit rate or max crit damage roll, and then another useful stat like attack percent or energy regen or something like that. And I'm like, okay, this is extremely useful. Even if there are 2 useless subs, as long as I get another crit, this will be a really good piece. Then I'll throw a level 25 in there, right? These are almost useless. And 70 level 25 sounds a lot, but lots of them are just dupes, right? These were all fodders, the placeholders I was using for Jinsei, or trying to get something better for Jinsei until I got something a bit better, right? And then this is 2 crits, but they're minimum rolls, right? This could still be much better. I still am, and I still want to roll a better Jue. I'm not asking for a lot, okay? All I'm asking for is double crit with either energy regen or resonance skill damage bonus and attack percent. None of it has to be max. None of it even has to be high, but I don't want any of it to be minimum, right? Especially the 2 crit stats. I don't want them to be minimum. That's my bottom line. That's it. And I've rolled, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I've rolled so many goddamn Jues, okay? So goddamn many. Not only level 25s, and I have even more, and I've already used a lot of the trash level 10s as fodder, right? I've used them as fodder for other pieces. Take a look. How many I've rolled? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of this, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I've rolled 21 Jues just from what I can see. 7 of which these forecasts are level 25, and there are many more level 10s that I already used as fodder, right? To give you guys an example. So yeah, this gacha luck can be extremely bad, and you have to roll a lot. You need to have the echoes, all right? If people get lucky, they get the good rolls. For example, if they get they get a good Jue piece with max crit rate, max crit damage, max skill damage bonus, max attack percent roll. That would be crazy, right? And let's say max energy regen. And then they don't want to play the game anymore. Well, that's on them. That's their problem. If that's the way they should play this game, I don't think they would have been a really good paying customer anyways, right? All the people I've known that quit this game, Wuthering Waves, have not paid. That's different, right? Those people were not interested in Wuthering Waves itself, not because they had good echoes, right? Or bad echoes. Bad echoes could have been the thing that actually made them leave, right? Having good echoes is not the reason why people left. People were not spending money either. Spending money was not the reason people left, right? That should be something else, right? It's totally different from Genshin, where I know at least 3 people, I'd say, maybe even 4, right? That I know, like I talk to them at least weekly, if not daily, where they spent money in Genshin Impact and they quit, right? And I'm drawing parallels with Genshin, and I'm taking shots at Genshin however the hell I want, all right? You can't talk shit to me. Why? Because, like I said, okay, I don't know if it's in any video before, all right? I'm saying it again, okay? Ever since Hu Tao got leaked, and I saw her profile pic, I said, God damn it, I'm pulling for her. I'm C6ing her, all right? So every month, okay, and keep in mind, all right, I'm a high school dropout, was working minimum wage jobs, okay? Every week, I would be spending 100 American dollars and getting basically 50 pulls from in Genshin, right? I did this for so long, right up until Hu Tao released, all right? And I streamed it in Discord. It's a shame because I wasn't recording it for YouTube, but I streamed it in Discord to a bunch of friends. I had more than 700 pulls. I Constellation 6 Hu Tao on release, and I got a Staff of Homo for her. And when Yelan reran with her Aqua Simulacra, and I don't know if it's her first release or it's actually her rerun. I think it was her first release. But I think Hu Tao was rerunning, and then the weapon banner was Aqua Simulacra and Staff of Homa, right? And I R5, I max refine both Aqua Simulacra and Staff of Homa for Yelan and for Hu Tao. And I pulled the Constellation 1 for for Yelan, so that, with 2 of her skill charges, she'll have enough energy to have her ult to use her crit damage main weapon, right? Because before pulling for Aqua Simulacra, I had the event weapon, which, if I remember correctly, was energy recharge main stat, right? That was the only way you could get her ult up with 1 skill use. If if you didn't have her Constellation 1, right, you'd only have 1 skill use. That's the only way you could get her burst up every time with 1 skill usage, right? So I got her Constellation 1 as well. So yes, and I also I pulled for Zhongli C2 on his release, right? And I got his C6 on his I believe first rerun. Or it could have been the second, but I think it was the first, right? So I was basically day 1 Genshin player, but I was busy then. All right, I downloaded the game, I played a bit, I saw I needed a lot of time to explore, to play the game, so I kind of didn't log in for quite a bit, especially since I was getting cooked by the adventure level, right? I just wanted to progress in the story, get more primos, explore more regions, but it seemed like I was getting gate locked by my adventure rank. So I kind of quit for a bit, but I downloaded the game on release, and I started playing basically on release, right? Max, you could say, I started playing. You could consider me as a 1.1 banner player, right? When they released Child, I believe that's what they released. At least the first half, I think, of 1.1. I don't clearly remember, but I think it was Child. That's who I was playing. Pull for him, and I'll bring him everywhere. Okay, so yes, I have a right. I have a God-given right to shit on Genshin because I'm a paying customer. God damn it! If I can't shit on a product I paid a shit ton for, then I might as well not pay for this product. Am I not? Am I right? If I paid to review something, right? If I wasn't sponsored and I paid out of my own pocket to buy a product, and then I realize it's shit, then I can give it a garbage review and put it on YouTube, right? Even some people who are sponsored to review some products, right? They're honest enough to say, well, okay, this product's actually bad, this because of this and this and this, and here's how you can improve. And if you improve this or this or this, you can send me another one, and I'll review it again, and I'll give you a good review, right? Which I think is very fair. So yes, I have a God-given right to shit on Genshin. Okay, all that to say, I have a God-given right to shit on Genshin. So when I pull comparisons with Wuthering Waves and Genshin, I feel bad for Wuthering Waves because I like Wuthering Waves more, but I spent way more in Genshin Impact, and the only reason is because Genshin Impact came out first, right? Genshin was the first of its genre, okay? And this might seem like what we call in Chinese 马后炮, right? It's like, oh yeah, you're saying it now. It's like saying, oh, you should have left, right, before the tsunami hit, or before the earthquake hit, or before the tornado hit, right? Which is like kind of useless. But what I mean is, like, I just wanted to say, I had a friend who was playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on their Nintendo Switch, right? When Switch just came out. He was telling me how cool this was to be an open world. I don't remember exactly when Switch came out, but I think it was maybe 2016, 2018. Somewhere along those lines. I think 2016 is when it came out. Because I remember I used to be in high school. This is one of my high school friends, right? And I remember specifically telling him this game would be much better, all right, if this was like one of those gacha games I was playing. But it was open world, and it had waifus, and you would sell waifus, and you could put her in your party, and then run around the entire world, look at beautiful scenery with their waifus, or I guess husbandos, right? And look at where Genshin got, right? So obviously I was right? But you guys will have to take my word for it that I actually said that shit, right? While Genshin was probably in development. But anyways, all that to say, Genshin annoyed the hell out of me, all right? And it was mostly because of the artifact system. I would be using my resin to farm artifacts every single day, especially later on when we hit like Sumeru and Fontaine eras, right? Because all my characters were built, so I was just farming artifacts to get better artifacts for them, either get double crits or get like their damage bonus goblets, right? All my goblets were bad. I don't think I had a single good goblet with the right damage percent bonus with double crit. Or if I did, they would be very, very rare. And they might not even be on my main DPS. Might have been on my supports, like, I don't know, like Xingqiu or Yelan. But they weren't on my main DPS like Hu Tao or later Navia, New Viet, right? It's what I really hate about Genshin. Like, I had to grind so much. I had to look at so much. And this is what almost put me out of Wuthering Waves, right? But what the Wuthering Waves combat kept me. What put me off about Wuthering Waves was how hard it was to get a good echo, and at least in the 1.0, right? And how much time we had to spend while looking at characters who yap away, right? So this is part of why I hate Ling Yang. Okay, to be honest, I played Ling Yang in Elusive Realm. Okay, it doesn't seem like he's very, very, very bad. Maybe his multipliers aren't that good, but his playstyle is okay. It's not bad. It's actually kind of fun. But I can't forgive or forget how I hate him because of how much time I had to spend doing his quest, how much pain I had to go through. I had to sit there and just watch him like be this edgy thing and like, rawr, and like, I'm sorry you had to see that side of me. Bitch, shut the hell up. You weren't shit. You weren't scaring nobody. At most, I would think you were like a little cat acting cute. So yes, and I'm glad they fixed it, and now we can skip the story, right? Which this is, I think, the best part Saint Tontas brings up. I don't know if he saw my comment or not. Okay, I'm assuming he didn't because I didn't get a heart from him. Okay, I'm assuming if he did, he would either heart it or pin it. But here's the thing: all of those people saying how Saint Tontas glazes Kuro, and then says, "Oh, the story's so good, but you why ask for a skip button?" They miss the point. The point is, having a skip button forces Kuro to give us good content, good story. Because if they don't, we can skip it. Do you understand? For example, Honkai Star Rail's story in 2.7, I believe, or was it 2.6? I don't remember. I think it was 2.6. Yeah, it was the banana memes, right? The monkey memes. To be honest, I like the message behind it, especially as someone Chinese, coming from a Chinese company. I really liked it, and what they were saying was basically about education, right? Is if you do not conform and then you're worthless, right? It's like the I don't care if you're a fish or an eagle or a snake or a pig. I ask you to climb a tree, and if you cannot climb a tree, then you're an idiot, right? Sometimes it doesn't matter how you get to on top of the tree. You can fly there, you can climb there. As long as you can get on top of the tree, you're a good student. You're good for society. I give you value, and then you can go. You can get recognition. You can get validation. You can get self-worth. Your self-worth fulfilled, right? And you're a good animal, or you're a good kid. You're a good student. But if you cannot do it, then you're stupid. And sometimes they ask you have to climb. Right, so if you fly there as the eagle, you're still an idiot. They won't give you the recognition that you think you should deserve. So I really like the message behind the story, right? All this to say, right? You're gonna be like, oh, this Chinese gamer is just one of those classic CN guys, just likes the Kuro storytelling, where you gathering wives. That's not it. I paid attention in Honkai Star Rail story enough to tell you guys this, to draw comparisons, parallels with my own experiences from in real life, right? I know what I'm talking about Honkai Star Rail. I like the message behind the story. Like Ryuku Sensei said, right? It's not necessarily the story itself being bad. It's the way to tell. It's the storytelling that is bad. I do not want to stare at the screen, read a wall of text. I want to see some cutscenes. I want to see this to be presented, right? Like Ryuko Sensei said, like how did people find it acceptable for Sunday to sit around and tell us in a monotonous voice, and almost in a drawl, like that his sister got shot because she went around trying to help people. That's why she wears elaborate neck ornaments. You should have shown that to me in a cutscene. You guys have the resources to do that. How much money is Hoyo making off of Honkai Star Rail? A shit ton. And I'm not talking per year. They're raking in millions per month. They're raking in millions per every patch, which is, I think, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Something along those lines. They're raking in cash. There's no reason for them not to give us a high quality cutscene that's at least 30 seconds long. I'm not even asking for a lot per patch. It should even be longer, right? I think it should be like anywhere from 2 minutes to 5 minutes with how much money we're funding them. Right? So, in that sense, Wuthering Waves is still not doing as good as they can, right? For sure. I'll give it to all the people who are saying this. Wuthering Waves is not perfect. In no way, in no shape, way, or form, I would say Wuthering Waves is perfect. No game is perfect. No man is perfect. Because when you take on the mantle of perfection, when you say you are perfect, when you say this thing is perfect, when you think you are perfect, you lose the possibility to truly become perfect. You lose the ability to obtain true perfection because you yourself, within your flawed mentality, your flawed mindset, your flawed opinions, think you are perfect when in reality you are not. You therefore lose the ability to become truly perfect. You lose the ability to better yourself because you think you're already perfect. No one is perfect. I have shit takes as well. If I have shit takes or my logic does not check out, feel free to shit on me. I don't care about punching down, right? Gotcha Smack. If Gotcha Smack sees this, if Tectone sees this, if Saint Tonta sees this, and they feel like if Ryuku Sensei sees this, and they feel like they should shit on me, I don't care if I have 26 subscribers. I don't care if I have 6 subscribers. If my logic is stupid, shit on me for all I care. And I'll welcome you with open arms. And I'll tell you at the end, wow, thank you. Your reasoning is sound. Is more logical than what I'm providing. Thank you very much for this lesson. Oh, God damn it. Anyways, so like I was saying, Wuthering Waves is not perfect, alright? God, man, I almost choked on my Orange Crush. Wuthering Waves is not perfect. You won't ever see me say something's perfect, okay? But it is doing better than Genshin, and we should give it recognition. And I do wish, right? I can see the point of glazing Kuro and glazing this game, that more people play this game. And if more people play this game, then the Kuro devs will be incentivized to do better. And Hoyo will be like, oh damn, we're losing players to Wuthering Waves. Damn, maybe we should do better. And this makes it a win-win for us, the players. Because this is what competition is about. It's a free market, baby. If something's objectively better, then I will voice it out, right? I can get why Saint Tontos was getting pissed. It's not called having an ego when you are right. For example, there were people who said, okay, like Michael Jordan is egoistical. He's a bully and stuff like that. No. Man's allowed to be like that. Same thing for Mike Tyson. When you become the best at a sport, when you're so good, you do it in such a way that you become the avatar of that sport or that thing. It doesn't have to be a sport, right? When people say the king of boxing, and they can think of Mike Tyson immediately, or king of basketball, and they think of Michael Jordan, or they just say, oh yeah, who do you think is the best basketball player? And even most people who do not play basketball will say, oh, isn't it Michael Jordan? Most people who even did not watch boxing, like me, will say, oh yeah, probably Mike Tyson. When you're that good, when you're right, then you're not being egoistical. You're being right. When you say basketball, for example, if Michael Jordan says basketball today is too soft, then objectively, he's probably right. Because he was the best basketball player of his time. If Michael Jordan is young, could go back in time and play in his prime in today's NBA, I think he will destroy the league. Man could do literally everything. He could post up. He could shoot threes. He could break your ankles. He could break your goddamn ankles. And he can dunk on top of you. Lots of these NBA players are too soft. So yes, to draw parallels, to draw comparisons, when Saint Tontas is mostly objectively right about his takes and about Wuthering Waves, and the only slack I would have given him at the beginning, right, originally, the only slack I could have given him was he was glazing Crew a bit too much, right? Then objectively he's right. When it's like, look at it this way, right? If you tell someone, especially someone who doesn't know a lot, right? It's like you're telling a kid out of the goodness of your heart, right? Oh yeah, 1 + 1 is 2. And they tell you no, it's not 2. How do you know it's 2? Can you prove it is 2? You would be angry as hell as well. Like for story, for example of story, right? Ryuko Sensei does not like how everyone, not even the fact that everyone jumps on the Rover's tacitite dick, as he said it, right? In his exact words, all right? What he didn't like was the fact that Rover was implicated in everyone's backstories, right? And that, I can give it to him, right? But objectively speaking, story is subjective, right? Some people like it when everyone wants to jump on Rover's tacitite dick, whether it's male characters or female characters, right? And I'm one of those people. Objectively, some people don't like it, right? They don't like this. They subjectively don't like these stories. They will be annoyed at those stories, and they want the story to go elsewhere. Well, I'm sorry. Personally, I've been traumatized by Genshin. I played too much Genshin. I've had enough of Aether being totally useless. I have enough of Aether going along for 4 or 5 years now, and he's still... He has so many elements under his control now. Like, in the first year, he could fight against Child, who was one of the strongest fighters in the Genshin universe, apart, right, from people who have obtained divinity, you could say, or apart from deities, right? You could say Archons are along this class, right? Like Zhongli, like Raiden Shogun, right? She deleted Senora, right? So she could probably delete Child as well. And maybe you could include the Adepti in there. Maybe at least some of the Adepti, like maybe Xiao, right? Like, he's been fighting for a long time. And I'm not saying all the Adepti are, like, better in lore, right? Strength-wise, better than Child. So Child, lore-wise, is one of the strongest characters. And in the cutscene, in the story, we with 2 elements, which is only Anemo and Geo, we were able to fight against Child. And later we obtain the power of Electro. We obtain the power of Dendro. We obtain the power of Hydro. And now I believe we've obtained the power of Pyro. And you still are useless. You are still a weakling. And you are even weaker than before when you only had 2 elements. Where you could face off against Child, who is arguably one of the strongest human fighters in that world. Those who do not have the status of being an immortal or a deity or or being divine or something along those lines. Right? He's a human through and through. It makes literally no sense, right? Genshin is just trying to sell the characters. It doesn't make any sense anymore. I get it that you were trying to sell your characters. Give us character companionship quests, like the Zhongli ones, like the Archon quests. Those were always very interesting and cool to do. I did not nearly mind as much doing Zhongli's Archon quest as compared to the main quests. Because the main quests are still trying to glaze up the current character they're trying to sell, or in upcoming banners, right? Like in Fontaine, trying to glaze up all these Fontaine characters. Like, bro, I don't want to. I don't want to take a look at that. It's annoying, and I can't skip it. If Kuro did it here, at least I can skip it, right? And when they give feedback and they go check was like, oh damn, this guy does not like, and they can literally ask, right? Like, if you did not like the story, did you skip it? I could say, yeah, well, I started not liking it and then I started skipping it, right? They might not ask it now because personally I think their story is still passable. So not a lot of people skip. But you can, right? So having the skip button means, I believe he said it multiple times, St. Totus, that it means Kuro games can be held accountable for their story. If their story is bad, we skip. As the players, we skip. Whereas Hoyoverse is not held accountable for that, nor in Genshin Impact, nor in Honkai Star Rail. I liked what they were telling, the message in the story for 2.6. I told you guys. Me, as a Chinese immigrant to Canada, the second generation, although, right, I was born here. Someone stuck between two cultures. Someone who had to deal with their parents not adapting to the culture here, and then shitting on me for adapting to the culture here, and the education here, and then having suffered through, quite honestly, a lot of abuse. I can see where this conform mentality in the Chinese education is, and I do not like it. I like their message of calling this thing out, but what I did not like is the way they presented this. They had me read text. I did not come here to read text. I came here to play a game. There's no reason for the story to be this quest to be this long, showcasing Bootil and Robin and Rappa. There should have been a side quest, which we could have done in our own time. The main quest, I only care about what the main character is doing. That's why their character profile switch. I hate it in Honkai Star Rail. I hate it. Why am I switching to Sunday's perspective? Why am I switching to Bootil's perspective? There should be another quest. There should be the fucking side quest. Why am I looking at this in the main quest? It makes literally zero sense. Literally zero. So yes, in this aspect, I think Wuthering Waves is a bit better in their storytelling and the way they tell their story. Alright? Well, I'm not talking about the content, I'm talking about the way you tell the story. This is why the skip button is better. It's good to have a skip button, right? It's like having nukes. It's good to have nukes. You don't have to use it though, right? You don't have to use it, but it's good to have one. In case someone screws with you, then you launch the nukes, right? If Hoyo screws with you and tries to keep you in a goddamn story, main story quest, for 6 hours in a row, well, goddamn it, I'm skipping all this shit. Right? Isn't it? Right? If he tries to fuck with me, then I'm hitting the nuke button. That's what the skip button is to me. So it's good to have the skip. And if you don't use it, right? Why are you... I don't understand. Why are you against it? Maybe there are other people out there who are more combat focused like me, who don't really pay attention to story, unless the story has messages that are really, interesting, fascinating, that I can draw connections, parallels to my personal experiences. Then they don't really pay attention, just like me, right? We want to just want to go do the combat. That's what we're gonna do. Then we'll skip the story. What's the harm in that? If there's really good story pieces that I missed, well, that's for content creators, right? While I'm cooking or washing dishes, I'll just put on a YouTube video of some YouTuber who's explaining how the story went down, what's these characters' relationships, all of that, yada yada. It doesn't matter, right? So skip button is a must, in my opinion. Not having a skip button is a slap in the face, because Hoyo, without the skip button, without the nuke we could have launched for them, right? They can disrespect us with Aranara quests and Penacony. So yes, skip button is a must. On this point, I'm wholeheartedly with St. Totus. Okay, I don't care who you are. If you say having a skip button is bad, you are objectively an idiot. Because if you do not use the skip button, that's for you. It's just fine, right? It's like, oh, I don't drink alcohol, so let's ban all alcohol. How does that make any sense? I don't drink alcohol, right? I can say, well, I don't want you drinking alcohol in my house, for sure. But if you want to drink alcohol in Canada, fuck if I care. Do it wherever the hell you want. Well, okay, maybe not in the streets. You're not supposed to do that, all right? But drink that in anybody's house, including your own, if you want to drink. Nobody's gonna say shit to you. Just because I don't like drinking doesn't mean I will say everyone else shouldn't drink. Right? Drink. This is a much better comparison as to if I drew it with smoking. Because smoking, when you're smoking, you're impacting a lot of other people with your secondhand smoke. But drinking, not really. If you want to skip the story, go ahead, right? If you don't want to skip the story, go ahead. No problem. You have the choice. It's always better to have choices, right? You can choose. It's great. Having the choice means having the freedom. I have the freedom of skipping the story if I feel like it. Whereas in Hoyoverse, you don't. That's what's bad about it, alright? Enough for the skip button. So objectively, if you are not for the skip button, you are an idiot, okay? And nobody can say I'm glazing or I'm being a shill. Because I'm not sponsored, I'm not paid, I'm nothing, alright? I'm a guy with 26 subscribers. Nobody's paying for this, alright? Not a lot of people's gonna see this, but there are a lot of things to say. I would have loved to have been on the call with Saint Ontas, because I think I could have said a lot of things objectively, level-headedly, and clearly, so that he would have been like, yes, true, that's what I wanted to say, this is the way I wanted to present it without getting heated, okay? Here's the thing, okay? I get heated when I get attacked too, so I totally understand where Saint Ontas was coming from. He felt attacked. He felt like he was just saying 1 + 1 = 2, albeit in a, maybe a pompous, extravagant way. And then he was getting told, "No, not really. You're wrong. You're stupid." So understandably, he got heated. Okay, which again I say I understand, right? I remember he said it today in his stream. He's in his 20s. I'm in my 20s, right? I'm 24 years old. I can totally understand where he's coming from. Maybe if he was 40, he wouldn't act this way, right? This comes with age. So I understand where he's coming from, okay? And I can understand him agreeing, and I can understand Braxophone for pointing this out, for him to say, see, this is what I meant. Like, you could have presented this in a better way, where it did not seem as much of a personal attack on Vars as it seemed, right? But here's the thing. This is where I agree with Tectone. If you're going to put out a controversial video, if you're going to have controversial opinions, then you will have controversial responses. Especially when you put out an objectively shit take, right? And I don't know if he actually looked in YouTube chat, but if he did, when Tectone said one in chat for, oh, the background does not matter, right? The background gameplay does not matter, or two, the background gameplay does matter. The background, I put 2, and I think most of Saint Ontas chat put 2. The background gameplay does matter, okay? If I can't even show you that I understand what it's like to use Shorekeeper, then whatever I'm saying about gameplay, you should not take me seriously, right? You should not. Sorry, I'm just gonna check my settings. What's crowd density? So. Yeah, alright. Anyways. So yes, if Vars is going to upload a clip of him, a video of him talking about how Wuthering Waves gameplay should change, how Wuthering Waves gameplay can improve, but put out gameplay of him playing like a headless chicken, it automatically disqualifies what he says. Even if he might have had a point, which I don't think he had, but even if he did, it would have disqualified him. 100%. It would have disqualified him. So yes, everyone is allowed to form an opinion, but you should come out and say, like, you should come out and, at the very least, right, for Vars, I think he should have came out and say, while I am something along the lines of, while I am not a professional, right, in Wuthering Waves gameplay, or while I might not have played Wuthering Waves for a long time, or that much, I think these are the problems, right? And not present them as if they were objective truths. While he is considered, and even before that video of his, I used to consider him as someone who is objective and does his research, right? Like, I trusted him until that video, and then I started thinking, hell no, what is this dude saying? God damn it, he needs to wake the hell up, right? That's what I was thinking. So, yes, Saint Tontus should have not reacted as heatedly and made it seem, and should have took the entire thing less like a personal attack, and should have reacted less like he was personally attacking Vars. This I will give Braxophone. But what I give Textone and also Saint Tontus is, if you're gonna be stupid, people will be mad. It doesn't matter, right? If you have absolute garbage takes that are objectively wrong, then people will be mad. You can't stop that. They're free to be mad. Just like you are free to form a bad opinion. People are free to then dogpile on you. Right? I can't, I can't, right? What they're saying is, what Saint Tontus said, right? Truth to be said, right? He can say anything. He's allowed to say, well, if you're gonna play so bad, you might as well not play, right? If you're gonna have such bad takes, you might as well not play the game, right? He's allowed to say that. He's allowed to think that. But what he's not allowed, right? What Braxton said was, like, you can't police people. He's not policing anyone. Do you know what policing means? The police are legally allowed to deny you your rights. They can detain you. They can arrest you. They're legally allowed so. Saint Tontus cannot stop Vars from playing Wuthering Waves, cannot stop Kuro Games from sponsoring Vars, and cannot stop Vars from having bad takes. All he said was, if you're going to have such bad takes, you might as well not play the game. Which I think is very fair, right? I think this is what Tectone wanted to say. If you have bad takes, people will be mad, right? And if VAR, right, which this is the part that seemed a bit hypocritical from Brax, which I can understand. He's someone who's been through that, right? So it hits him personally. But here's the thing. If you are having bad takes, right? If you are on the side, well, we are allowed, we're free, we are allowed to have bad takes. We are, right, like, we can jump in a ditch if we feel like it. We can, right, do whatever we want. It's my computer, I can break it. It's my life, I can throw it away. I can delete myself if that's what I want. Fine by me. But then you can also not stop Saint Tontus. You have to respect his freedom of critiquing you. You have to respect his freedom of looking at you and thinking, damn, your take is bad. And you have to respect his emotions for getting heated at you because, damn, that take was bad. Right? That was the main issue I had with Braxophone. Okay? That aside. Moving on. Okay? I don't remember that if that was Flopmaster or whoever. Someone, right? Some Asian creator that Saint Tontus reacted to Saint Tontus, and I think Saint Tontus reacted back or something along those lines. Anyways, he said, Jinxie and Chun-Li plays the same. That is absolute bull. Okay, that is absolute bull. Bull, unless you have them all at max sequence with max refined weapons. Yes, you press buttons. You press a button or two, and they all die. That is true. However, if not, then they play completely differently. Here's what I am saying. Okay, Read my lips. I have Changli. Okay, let me finish this run and then I'll show you guys. Okay, I have Changli at sequence 2 with her refinement weapon. With refinement 1 of her weapon, right? And I have Amelia at sequence 2 with 1 refinement of her weapon. Oh wow, 2 golds. Nice. And I have Jinxie at sequence 1 with her weapon. Let me tell you, I don't know who was the best performer because for 1, Jinxie is on sequence 1, and for 2, the tower buffs vary. But I can tell you who the worst performer is, and that is definitely Changli. Definitely 100% Changli. Changli does not play like Jinxie. You cannot have a take as bad as this and then expect someone not to get heated. Because you're attacking him, you're saying Saint Tontas is an idiot, but then you have the worst takes ever. Of course you will get heated. Right? It's like saying this is like not arguing if Michael Jordan is the best basketball player or if it's LeBron James. Right? Who is the GOAT in basketball? It's like you saying, "Oh yeah, it's some random dude you might not even know." Right? I don't know, man. Let's say this is even worse than saying, "Oh yeah, the GOAT is James Harden," or the GOAT is I don't know, man. Kevin Durant. Even that I could accept somewhat because they're famous and they get really good games going. They can if they do get going. But that's like saying some random bench warmer or some 6th man on some random bad team who can't even make it to the playoffs, and you say, "Oh yeah, he is the GOAT." I will be mad at you too. Basketball fans will be mad at you too. Because that is objectively a very shitty take. I don't remember much of what Mr. Pokey was saying with Saint Tontas, but I think it had to do with the skip. Alright, I'm not going back to that. The skip button is objectively good. Any gacha game, whether Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves or whichever other game, should have a skip button. So that if you do give me trash to look at, then I can just say, "No, I'm not looking at this, I'm skipping." And then you have to deal with me logging off early because I didn't look at your story. And then you'll have to come up with a better story. That is why a skip button will always be good. Alright? End of the discussion for the skip button. So, yes. For the majority of these takes, I agree with Saint Tontas. And here you go, guys. Take a look at this. Here you go. Sequence 2. Refinement 1. Sequence 2. Refinement 1. Sequence 1. Refinement 1. I told you guys, I have them. Changli is objectively the worst performer out of these. They do not perform the same, and they certainly do not play the same. Like Saint Tontas said, if you're going to reduce this gameplay to I press buttons, I kill the enemies, and I win, right? Then all video games play the same, or almost all of them. Most of these, you could say Wuthering Waves is the same as Genshin Impact, it's the same gameplay as League of Legends, it's the same gameplay as Valorant, the same gameplay as Rainbow Six Siege, same gameplay as World of Tanks Blitz. You press buttons and people and enemies die, and you win when you kill all the enemies. That would be the stupidest argument ever. Changli plays in quick swaps. She plays in bursts. She does skill damage. She does liberation damage. She does her heavy attack with her forte. Does the forte heavy attack damage bonus. Whereas Jinxie switches out quickly, does her skill, switches back to her supports to keep on doing rotations. They play totally differently. Especially since Changli plays in quick swaps, right? For example, with Calcaro. You can do that with Kalkero, you can do that with Xiang Liao, you can do it with most people, especially people who have a good amount of liberation damage bonus, because she does buff liberation damage bonus on her outro, I believe. Yep. Or you could choose a fusion, right? She buffs fusion as well. So I've seen people use her with Ancore, with Qixia. Which, by the way, I would totally build Qixia if I had materials, if I had energy, but I don't. Anyways, I digress. So yes, I think most of the case, about 80% of the time, Saint Tontas was right. And I respect Tectone a lot for being actually neutral and stepping up, standing up and saying, yeah, you know what? I'll give it to him. He was right. He's right about this and this and this because of this and this and this. I have to be honest though, I think I unsubscribed from Tectone because he was either baiting or farming like for drama before, and yeah, I did not want that on my feed all the time. I'm someone who's working minimum wage jobs. Damn, I need some. You guys should know what customer service is like. Holy damn, I need some positivity in my life. Sorry, Tectone, but that's how it is. All right, but yeah, I respect him a lot for being, I guess, a normal, decent dude with normal, decent logic. He feels like he's a guy I can sit down and talk to about a lot of problems, and we will have somewhat similar views. And if we don't, he'll be patient enough to educate me and make me see the errors of my way. That's how he feels like. So, cheers to you, Tectone. Good guy, keep it up, man. Any freaking ways. Tomorrow's Sunday. Hopefully, hopefully, Tectone comes back with Ryuku Sensei with Saint Tontas, or maybe, right? I don't think this will happen in one day, but if Braxophone wants to do his Tower Adversity, that will also be very cool. Or I will be looking forward to a Mr. Pokey or Gotcha Smack plus Tectone, or the both of them plus Tectone plus Saint Tontas, right? I think all this time, like if anyone's gonna get on stream with Saint Tontas, I think Tectone needs to be there, because Tectone, I would have to say, has been through probably more shit than the rest of them, is more mature, can offer more mature insights and make sure there's less fighting, and offer more objective standpoints, right? I really liked it when I really liked and agree with what he said when he said, you know, like, if you're gonna make a controversial video, then you're gonna have to expect some controversial feedback, right? That's how it is, right? And truth to be told, I agree with Saint Tontas on what he said about, like, right, if you're gonna make guides, you should have a minimum, right, of, right? It's like, I don't know if anyone knows, right? But I play the piano. Okay, I played the piano since I was 6 years old. I know, it's very Asian. My mom said it, right? My mom told me to do it. She's Asian, so I did it. Okay? I played the piano for, till now, a good more than 15 years. Let's say 15 years, okay? 10 of which my mom was paying a teacher for me. Okay, I would go every week to this teacher's, spend an hour or two there, and then go back home and practice. And these were not cheap teachers either. This was back in 2008 in America, and my teacher was asking for $60 per hour. Okay, that was $1 for a minute. If I went to pee and I took 2 minutes, that's $2 in his pocket for free. Okay, those teachers are not cheap. Just to give an idea, I might not be the best piano teacher, but I sure as hell can play a piece for you if that's what you want. All right. So why am I bringing this up? Because this is what I think. If you're going to teach piano, you need to be, at minimum, be able to play the piano somewhat, right? I could play the piano somewhat. I could teach the piano to little kids for sure if they wanted to learn, and I did for a kid at church, right? But if you cannot even demonstrate that you can play the piano, no matter how good your musical theory is, I will not listen to you. I will treat you as an idiot. I will think you are talking out of your ass, that you don't know what you're talking about at all, and I will tell you to pull your head out of your ass because you cannot demonstrate for a fact that you can play. You don't even need to be extremely good at it, right? I don't think St. Thomas was saying you need to be the best player in the world to make guides on Wuthering Waves. He was just saying there's a minimum, right? There's a minimum threshold you need to hit before you can tell others, yeah, this is how you should play the game. Just like with piano. You need to be a good enough piano you need to hit a certain level before you can tell others, yeah, this is how you play the piano, right? The same for basketball. If you can't play at all, no one's going to respect you as a coach. If you've never played, right? I understand basketball is a sport, right? Most of these coaches, they're getting on their ages and they can't play anymore. Maybe, right? And even then, right? This is why some athletes do not respect their coaches. It's because they've never played the game and they try to come here and tell them what to do. Sure, perhaps you learned really good theory and you actually know how to teach them, but I'm not willing to listen to you, right? It's like, look at it this way. For Gotcha Smack, right? He's a gym he's a gym trainer, right? I believe. Would I pay? Like, would anyone pay for Gotcha Smack's gym, like, personal trainer services if he was fat, right? Maybe he knows his theory very well, but if he was out of shape, then why would I pay for his services when I am trying to, lose weight and put myself in shape, right? If he's so good in his theory, why is his practice shit, right? No one would pay for Gotcha Smack services, personal training services, if he was out of shape, right? So realistically speaking, St. Otis is right about the fact that if you are bad at gameplay, then we shouldn't, and nobody should, and nobody would listen to you, to what you are saying. And I get where he's coming from. He's afraid that Kuro might not get it. That Kuro might think he's actually onto something, and then changes how this game plays, and then turns the game into a steaming hot pile of garbage, right? So, again, I have to give it to St. Totas. He's absolutely right about this, right? I don't think people are making enough comparisons. I think I remember Gotcha Smack saying, right, like, would anyone pay, for, like, he's a personal trainer, right? Would anyone pay for a fat personal trainer? Like, this is your job to train someone. It's your job to make sure people are fit. How would people trust you if you are not fit yourself, right? I think I remember him saying something similar along those lines in one of his videos. Right? So, obviously, this is a very, very, very fair and objective take on Vars. If he is going to be making guides, right, and theory crafting for how Wuthering Waves could be a better game, when he doesn't even understand the game itself, when he doesn't even understand how to play the game, or at least he's showing how he does not understand, right? With what Gotcha Smack said about Tower University, right? Just like Tower University is boring. No, you just don't like playing the game. You don't like exploring what you can do. You should take what you guys should do, right? Gotcha Smack and Praxophone and maybe even Tectone, and also maybe even St. Totas. Okay, take a look at what Wallenstein can do with his comps. I've known him to be the Beidou counter guy from back in Genshin, right? He ran Beidou 1 HP solo against a lot of bosses. I think he did it against the Earth Dragon, the guy Zhongli's pet. He did it against Raiden Shogun. I think he did it against Signora, right? All pretty hard bosses, some of which have electro shields or electro resistances, or they have damage over times that if you're not careful, you get hit by it, you will die immediately because you're 1 HP. All right, so yes, he is very, very good. You guys should see some of his double DPS or even triple DPS in Tower Adversity. I've seen how the man plays Calcaro with, I think, Changli or Yinlin. All right, he played in a way I never thought would have been possible. I literally remember him opening up with Calcaro Liberation in the Tower Adversity without having even buffed him yet with the healer. I think it was Storekeeper or Verena, one of them, right? Without even having the buffs from Yinlin or Changli or whoever it was. Because he's so good at quick swapping. He knows he's going to get back in time, get everyone's buff up, and Calcaro's energy and cooldown will be up for his liberation, and he could just do it off again. So, yeah, he played Calcaro in a way, he played Tower Adversity in general in a way I never thought would have been possible, right? I'm just playing the normal way, doing it the normal way. I'm not very good at the game, like I said. I think the best player out of everyone I know is Wallenstein, and I've encouraged all of these CCs to go take a look at what he can do in Wuthering Waves. It's pretty crazy. He's pretty damn good. Alright? So for Gotcha Smacks, whose take on Tower Adversity being meh, no, you just didn't try hard enough. Alright? If you tried, you would find lots of fun in this game. It's just that, obviously, crew can't make it so, for example, only people playing as good as Wallenstein can max star, then nobody can, right? That skill requirement will be too high. And people will say, well, it's a pay-to-win game because I don't have enough damage numbers. I need to pay to get more damage numbers. And I think, I seem to remember, I was down in the comments for Gotcha Smack's video where he said this about Tower Adversity, and he said people should go in with full control. And I was just like, no, right? In the comments, I remember, I think I was one of the first to comment too. I said, you should take a look at what Wallenstein can do. Okay, I don't want to glaze him too much, but Wallenstein is really good at the game. I wish I was that good at the game. It might be possible for me if I play enough, right? But anyways, I'm not that good yet, so I can't recognize when when I'm just not there, right? I'm not perfect, right? Even on video games, I'm not perfect. I wouldn't even say Wallenstein is perfect. He probably doesn't play perfect every time, right? But yeah, bro's good, right? I'm not good enough. I could get better. I definitely should get better. Anyways, yeah, I cannot believe I logged in today when I didn't even finish my dailies. That's very strange. Well, anyways. And yeah, like, if you guys are thinking, oh, I'm just glazing Saint Others, no. He was terribly wrong about the Echo thing. Echo EXP thing. I definitely wish we had more of that. We need a lot more. I could roll so many and they could still be trash, but at least I would have rolled more. For now, I can't roll as many, right? I still have trash pieces like this, where I don't even have a crit rate on this. This is so bad. Of course, I have good builds like this, where if I calculate the crit ratio, let's round this down right to 63. That would be 126, 190, 100, 200, 204, I believe. 204. If I don't round this, would be 205. I think I will be at 205 crit value. which is, I think, probably diabolically good for someone who does not refresh wave plates with astrites, right? If you can hit 200 crit value, I think it's pretty good. The maximum would be like 10.5 max, right? And then 21 crit damage max. Maximum would be, so the maximum would be 21, 42 per piece. 42 times 5, 42 times 5, 215. Max would be 215, but you still have this, right? So it would be 250 something. But I'm talking about max rolls everywhere, right? Realistically speaking, if you're rolling mid rolls, I think 200 is about where you're at. Maybe slightly less even. I don't know. So yeah, having 200 crit value is, I would say, diabolically good for someone who does not refresh wave plates with astrites. Also had a good roll on the 1 cost for Jinsei, right? We had a max crit damage roll and a decent mid crit rate roll, right? With some attack percent as well. It's 3 effective subs with a max crit damage sub. It's pretty darn good. Yeah, pretty darn good. But it's still not perfect, right? I could be having max crit rate here. I could be having max attack percent here. I could be having energy regen here, or liberation here, liberation damage bonus, and then skill damage bonus here, right? So yeah, like even if I had way more echoes, it would take me way more to get a perfect piece. I can't get a perfect piece. You guys have seen how many trash jewelries I have, right? There's like 20 something of them, and there were at least another 10, if not 20, that I dumped into other echoes to fish back the EXP, right? That's the I think I don't remember any other takes Saint Otis had that was like shockingly bad, but the Echo EXP one was this. It was shockingly bad. This is what we need. We need more. I totally agree with Ryuku Sensei here. We need to have more Echo EXP to roll the echoes. Like every tacit field run where I'm trying to get more Echo EXP, right? I'm also getting more echoes, and I don't need more echoes. I don't want more echoes. I want more AXP to roll them. As it turns out now, I don't even look at the subs for the sets I'm running. For the echoes that I receive, I mean, out of all my tacit field runs, I just trash them all. There's too many of echoes and not enough Echo EXP to roll them all. So yeah, to save space in my backpack, now everything I receive I just trash. Anyways, all this controversial shit aside, man, I had loads of fun in Wuthering Waves. And in my opinion, way more than Genshin, right? And I spent way less in Wuthering Waves than in Genshin. I could not believe, like, Genshin had such a potential. I was so excited for it. Like, I was so, how do I say this? I'm so frustrated at how good of a game it could have been, but they just choose not to, right? They choose to not innovate. They should choose to sit on their ass because they're making good money, which I can understand. But, well, here's the thing: when you sit on your ass and you don't innovate, you don't improve, you don't do anything, well, you're gonna have people coming after you, coming after your throne, coming after the money you're making, while you're sitting on your ass doing nothing, right? And that's, I think, where Wuthering Waves is. So, yes, I am with Ryuku Sensei here. I wish Wuthering Waves can be as popular or even the Genshin killer. That's what I want it to be. That's what I hope it can be, so that Genshin could, if it does not die, right, come back stronger and better as a game as a whole. And I will be able to have 2 games that I really enjoy instead of just one, right? And I spent a lot of money on Genshin too. Imagine the frustration I had to feel in Genshin Impact to leave after having spent that much money for someone who's working minimum wage, a high school dropout working minimum wage jobs, having spent that much money and having dropped the game. Imagine that. That is extremely hard. It is diabolically hard for people who have the for people as broke, making as tiny of an amount of money as I was, spending all this money in a game and then dropping it and beating the whatever it's called, the cost sunk fallacy or whatever it is. That's crazy. That's pretty crazy. Wait, no, I was farming for this. Whoops. There we go. Whew. Well, I don't know if this is actually this will blow up and a lot of people will see this, or if this will just, you know, be another one of my 10 view videos. But well, at least I said what I wanted to say. I'm happy now. People can say whatever the hell they want now. It don't matter. I got what I want to say off my chest. I feel great now. I feel great now. So, Jian, skill, basics, max this tomorrow, max this, and then I'll maybe farm a couple more of these to save for Arena Sita, but maybe I might not, and I might just go back to farming Tacit Fields for the Echo EXP. Because I have no clue if the new characters in the region will be using these materials, or maybe using materials from their region. I hope it's from here, but I can't tell. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me. That's enough diabolical takes from me. Man, yes, this is the benefit of being a small channel. If I get flamed, it won't be a lot. Well, if anything, what I said struck a chord with you, I think I'm right or I'm really wrong, and you want to say your piece, feel free to debate me in the comment section. Feel free to remind me of things I might have forgotten about games, right? But so far, I think I have a pretty objective take on these games based on my own experience. For sure, I do want Wuthering Waves to do better, but for now, Kuro does deserve some recognition for having given us 11 free polls already, right? With the TGA nomination, even though they did not win. It's a shame, because if they did win, I think we could have gotten a 10 poll. Another 10 poll on top. So it would have been a 16 poll instead of 11 poll. Anyways, yep. That's it. That's enough yapping from me. Yo, I'm out.
此间当下。